they're going to need to know how to expand their comfort zones. So let's talk about that for a second. If you have a sheet of paper or something in front of you, I want you to draw a little bitty circle. And then I want you to draw a bigger circle around it. And then I want you to draw a bigger circle around that. So what you have is a 3-ring target. Now, each of these circles represents a comfort zone. And the smallest is your past comfort zone. The middle is your current comfort zone. And then the biggest one is your future comfort zone. Now, what I want you to do is outside of the smallest, but inside of the middle, I want you to put a little X. And then outside of the second one, but inside of the largest one, put another X. So what those X's represent are tasks or habits. And I'll show you how this works. So if we're talking to a real estate agent, for example, one of the metaphors or examples I'll use on this is, was there ever a time that just writing a contract for a buyer is something that was outside of your comfort zone? And for most of us, when we first started out, absolutely, right? Like they want an offer on a $400,000 house, FHA, blah, blah, blah. And so that first X, the one that represents or is inside of the second circle, but outside the smallest, think of that as like writing contracts for a buyer. And your past comfort zone, that task was outside of it, right? But for most of you today, if I said to you, hey, like I see Kate Conroy, if I said, hey, Kate, I'm moving to Tampa, I found this house and I want to make an offer on it. I don't think it's outside of Kate's comfort zone to write an offer today. So what happened, you guys, is she expanded her comfort zone to where now that task is no longer outside of it. And what we want to understand is, how did you do that? How did you expand your comfort zone? And so I'll ask people like, okay, so did you go like to a contract class and like study, contract law? Did you go like get mentored by an attorney? Is that how you did it? And the answer is always no. What they said is I just did it. I did it over and over again, even when I was uncomfortable. And now it's second nature. So in today's market, especially for those of you who don't know anything different than the way it's been over the last 2 to 3 years, there are things, lead generation activities, maybe it's not even just the activities, but the sheer volume of the activities that you have to be engaged in that are outside of your comfort zone. And I'm wondering, number one, do you have clarity on this question? What is the singular task or habit that is currently outside of your comfort zone, that if it were inside your comfort zone, your life would grow in multiples? What is that? What is that thing? And are you in the all-out pursuit of it? Meaning, I think about goals, visions, things that people chase, right? Like maybe it's selling 100 homes, maybe it's becoming a net worth millionaire, whatever that might be. What is your level of intensity in the engagement of what it is that you want? And think of it through the speed of an animal. Are you like a sloth, right? Like kind of climbing down the tree? Or are you like a cheetah chasing a gazelle? You are all out sprinting with everything that you have. But here's the deal. Repetition of the uncomfortable makes it comfortable. And however you have to frame your mind to get yourself to engage in that activity, you may never like it. You may never look forward to it. And yet, if you can make what was painful tolerable, if you have that skill set, and think of it like a will set, like you have the will to do that, man, you have really unlimited your life. Because I think change kind of goes through, 3 steps. First, it feels unbearable, right? Then it feels uncomfortable. Then you're unstoppable. Because if you are no longer afraid of pain, of rejection, of whatever it is that keeps you from all out getting after whatever it is that's outside of that comfort zone, if you're no longer afraid of that, you are so free to create at whatever level you want. So that's the first lesson that I wanted to give you out of today, is the 3 comfort zones, and growth being the intentional expansion of your comfort zone. Do you know what that thing is? And are you in all out pursuit of it? Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is a little bit more tactical, because I know that through the conversations I've been having with a lot of you, that it can be a little more challenging today to create urgency. And not so much urgency in buyers, but urgency in sellers. And I understand that there's a lot of people out there that are not really incentivized to sell their home. And it got me thinking, because it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, where we live, it's a college town, and around campus, there's these like 4 streets that have these like old, beautiful homes. I mean, big trees, right? And honestly, those homes never really come on the open market. You don't typically see them listed because they get handed down through generations, or I think they just get sold through like handshake deals. But like 4 weeks ago, one of them popped up, and it was beautiful, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, right? 2-car garage. I think it was listed at $750. And I instantly sent it to Rochelle, and I was like, we need to go look at this house. And she's licensed and has her keeps her license active. And so she said, okay, we can set up the showing. And so I said, before you do that, let me just run the payment. And so I started calculating it, 20% down, all the things. And even though we were going up in price range a little bit, the payment that we were getting was going to be like double what we pay now. And it wasn't double the house, and it wasn't double like we're borrowing. And so that really made me hit the brakes. I was like, I mean, it's a great house, but it's not really worth it. And so we let that one go. And but it got me thinking about, well, what would be worth it? And it got me thinking about the question of, if a realtor came across my dream home, like, this is the house, the one that you would really want, would I want to know about it? And the answer is yes. Like, there's this one neighborhood that's just east of town here that it's on 5-acre tracts, and the houses are really big and nice, and you're out in the community, so you're not like isolated in the country, but it's really close enough to, it's like 10 minutes to my girl's school. And if a house like that had popped up, and it had a pool and it had all the things, I'd probably be packing right now. And that's what really got me thinking about all these people who are on the fence, or what we would consider to be unurgent, right? Not motivated. And so it's a very simple question. If you're talking to somebody, and I think an easy way to ease into this right now is, hey, Kate, it's Jordan with Keller Williams. Do you have 2 minutes? Great. Hey, I just wanted to see if you have any real estate related plans in 2023. And she says, nope, we're staying here. Cool. Okay. I'm curious, Kate, I talk to a lot of people, and we have a pipeline full of listing leads, listings that are maybe not on the market, listings that have signed but haven't hit the market. And I'm curious, even though you're not in the market now, if I came across your dream home, would you want to know about it? And I'm sure there will be some that say no. Maybe they're living in their dream home, but there are others that will say yes. And the follow-up question to that is, okay, cool. How would I know if I came across your dream home? Can you tell me a little bit about that? And so what happens, you guys, is you're eliciting. And that's a question that I don't think a lot of people have thought about or maybe aren't actively thinking about, but you're eliciting this feedback from them and you're getting them to dream a little bit, which for most of us is a really fun and a feel-good process. And all you're doing is keeping a little database of people. You could even create a tag in your CRM that says dream home. And all that means is that we have elicited and we have their dream home in the feedback. And so then when you're looking at homes, you're out there talking to people, maybe you're even going into the neighborhood that Kate would want. Now you're armed with a message. I have a buyer that's looking in this neighborhood. That could be golden letters. That could be text messages to your database. But the only thing I really want you to hear is that all we're ever really looking for is just a really positive message to take into our databases. We need a reason to call. It's not even so much about what we get out of that call. It's just like when people say to me, I had this event and only 20 people showed up. And that might feel like a failure, but my question is, well, how many people did you talk to and share the word about it? And if you talk to 100, 200, 300 people, well, those are 100, 200, 300 relationships that you strengthened. Is the event and the number of people that attended really the success factor here? And that's what I want you to hear about the dream house. And maybe some of you have different messages and you need to be sharing that with the community so that we can all be working together here. But what I want you to hear is it doesn't matter who you're talking to. Ask that question and see what type of responses you get. And if you really want to have fun with it, ask yourself, like, if someone called me and had this home, what would that home have to be that regardless of the interest rates, regardless of whatever, I would move forward? What is my dream home? So I wanted you to see something kind of philosophical here in the sense of the expansion of your comfort zones. I also wanted you to get something tactical that you can be asking that question of, if I came across your dream home, would you want to know about it? And how would I know that's what I came across? Take that into the heads and hearts of the people in your real estate databases or communities, and let's see what you all drum up. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you all on our coaching calls or next week. Bye-bye.